All right, hello gamers, and welcome to the gaming news update here. It's been a few days since the PlayStation Showcase. As you can tell, there's been a lot of excitement about some of the many games that were announced during this showcase, which was the first of the summer of gaming showcases that we're going to be seeing in 2023. Obviously, the first one being with Sony, and of course, the next one will be happening next Thursday. Can you believe it? So yes, a week tomorrow is when the next showcase will take place, and that will be Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest on the 8th of June. Can you believe? I honestly couldn't believe it's only a week away now until we get to see his show at Summer Game Fest, which will have some updates, funny enough, about what he is planning on Summer Game Fest, because we do get a little taste of what sort of announcements we can expect from the show next week, and also a bit of a tease from Microsoft about a particular game that they might be re-revealing during their Xbox showcase, which happens to be next Sunday. So yeah, not only do we have a Summer Game Fest to look forward to, but we've also got an Xbox showcase next week where they will also not only be revealing games for Game Pass, but they're also going to be revealing stuff for Starfield, the Bethesda's highly anticipated title, which hopefully is going to deliver on their end. We'll see if Todd Howard will actually deliver this game in terms of standard and quality. We'll find out hopefully a week on Sunday whether Starfield will actually succeed for Bethesda. Even though Redfall kind of fell flat for them, but hopefully Starfield will be the turnaround moment for the company. Hopefully. So yeah, so we're gonna have a chance to sort of have an opportunity to recap some of, take a look further, I guess, take a look at some of these announcements that took place at the PlayStation Showcase for those who may have missed out on the showcase. And yes, I did do a reaction video, which you can see in the link in the description if you want to see my whole reaction video of the PlayStation Showcase, and I'm going to be doing the same for Summer Game Fest and the Xbox Game Showcase, and the Starfield Direct as well. We'll be reacting to all these announcements to see what Microsoft shows off, because obviously when it comes to Xbox, they're going to be revealing stuff that's going to be compatible for Xbox Game Pass on console, as well as PC Game Pass, etc. We all know how Microsoft rolls, so I'm sure there's going to be plenty of surprises coming from them. And then obviously Summer Game Fest loves to show off all sorts of games from big to small. So I'm sure there'll be plenty of surprises coming from Jeff Keighley's show as well. Um, anyways, so like I said, make sure to like and subscribe, and we will begin by taking a look at some of these PlayStation announcements that took place. And of course, one of the major things that was obviously revealed was the fact that we're going to be getting two new accessories that were revealed as part of the PlayStation Showcase last week. So we have this item here, which is the Project Q device, which has been heavily rumored since the start of the year to be essentially, well, it's been sort of described as like PlayStation's version of Nintendo Switch in a way. Um, Essentially, this is an 8-inch screen with the buttons of the DualSense controller, but unfortunately, there has been a lot of talk that this device might be able to hold up to 4 hours of battery. So there is a sort of like a sort of backlash in terms of the idea that this device might have 4 hours of battery life, which not many people are very thrilled about that, considering that they think that's pretty poor for a battery life of this caliber. But then again, the DualSense controller might take some of the battery up potentially, but I guess I'm hoping we'll learn more about this soon in terms of how much battery does it really have compared to all the reports that are coming out. But some reports tend to be more reliable, so who's to say that? Yeah, it'll be very concerning if it is up to 4 hours of battery life, but I'm hoping Sony will be able to hopefully go further than 4 hours, but we'll see what happens. Either way, the whole point of this device is essentially you'll be able to play games that you've installed on your PS5 as well as and streamed over Wi-Fi. So essentially, this is a more of a remote play device that has been obviously talked about leading up to this announcement. And then we've got the first official wireless earbuds, which is basically Sony's version of the Apple AirPods, which obviously Apple have got their version. This is Sony's version for the PlayStation 5 and PC. And essentially they said that it's going to have loose audio with lower latency. Um, well, they say it's going to have the best audio quality ever, so we'll see if that can hold up. And it's also pretty nice because the case also has the same sort of style as the PS5 a little bit, where it slides to the side, as you can see there. And obviously the earbuds are like I said, they've sort of been inspired by they've obviously been doing their homework and looked at how Apple have done theirs, and that's how Sony have based their design on those potentially. But yeah, it should be interesting to see how it all turns out. But yeah, we're gonna be finding out more about these devices very soon, and yeah, it should. I know some people are sort of question marking whether this device will. Some people even said to me, "Why would you want a device like this?" But actually, I wouldn't mind it. Wouldn't mind it, to be honest, because you can always play PS5 games when you're in bed, really, with this. So it's actually not too bad. Um, yeah, I'm not sure about the wireless earbuds. Maybe, I mean, I don't know. I just prefer normal traditional headsets than this. But if anybody likes to look at this, then be sure to look out for more information in the coming months. We should be hearing more about this soon from Sony. Hopefully we will. Anyway, and then of course there's another game that was also announced: Metal Gear Solid, Delta Snake Eater, which obviously Metal Gear Solid. This is the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake that's going to be coming to the PS5. I believe it's meant to be coming in 2023 because they just showed the teaser. They didn't properly. Yeah, they said it was going to be sometime this year, but then there's also going to be a master collection which they announced, which is going to be essentially a remaster of some of the old Metal Gear Solids that are going to be brought together as part of a package that's going to come out in the autumn of 2023. And I think it's sort of leading towards the idea that we might get a Metal Gear Solid sort of showcase potentially very soon that will reveal the release dates of the Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater remake, as well as the master collection, which is essentially the remaster collection of Metal Gear Solid classic titles that are going to finally get their release on the PS5's hardware um, this autumn. So hopefully we'll be learning more about this and the master collection in the coming weeks. Hopefully within the coming throughout the course of the summer. Hopefully. Um, yeah, we'll talk more about Marathon because there has been a little bit of an update in terms of what to expect from Marathon as Bungie gave us a little bit more info about this title. Obviously, Destiny 2 had a tease for the final shape. They're going to be revealing more on August 22nd as part of their Destiny 2 showcase, or Destiny showcase, as they've been saying in the trailers. Also, Street Fighter 6. Funny enough, this game, I believe, this game comes out on Friday. So on Friday, this game will be out, and they just released the trailer for the story mode, which is the new World Tour focus, which is essentially their story mode for Street Fighter 6. So if you fancy, this comes out on Friday for anybody who wants to check this out. They recently had a beta for this, I believe, last weekend, so it's not too far off until the game's release. And then we come to these other games that we've also had announcements for. So, first things first, of course, we had the official gameplay reveal for Spider-Man 2. Yes, obviously Sony have promised that, actually Insomniac Games have promised that there's going to be details about the pre-order and stuff. And by the way, on PlayStation Direct, if I take you to the Direct page for PlayStation, they have got a pre-order section for, and I believe, if I go to the games here, that it should be under the games section. There is a pre-order section for Marvel Spider-Man 2 somewhere. So yeah, because yes, there is a pre-order section for Spider-Man 2 somewhere in the world. Yeah, either way, there was a pre-order page. Obviously, it's not visible in the UK yet, but essentially in the States, there's a page on the PlayStation Direct in the States where they have a page up for Marvel Spider-Man 2 with the actual cover revealed on it. Um, but yeah, so essentially they gave us the gameplay reveal. They've also done a video introducing Caven, which is the hunter, which is obviously a character and obviously a famous character in the Spider-Man universe that's finally making his way into the game. And I actually kind of love the gameplay we've got here for Spider-Man 2. Can't wait to see more of this game. But interestingly enough, it was found out that the gameplay of this title, that the gameplay we saw is actually not the final version, but this image is essentially from the final version of the game, essentially. So all these shots here are taken from the final version of the title, that in terms of gameplay elements, which is very interesting. So, and also it's interesting, you'll see that they've got some new abilities going on here, which is really, really nice. So yeah, some very, very cool atmospheres going on for Spider-Man 2. Cannot wait to play this game later this year. It comes out at the end of the year. Hopefully, it's meant to be due out in September. At least what all the rumors are saying September at the moment. So hopefully we're not too far off from finding out the official release date of Spider-Man 2, because I'm sure a lot of people would love to know when they're going to be able to pick up this title. And then, of course, we have this competitive heist game that was revealed by Haven Studios called Fair Games. Um, Obviously, it's coming out for PS5 and PC. They said in the trailer we're going to be hearing from them soon, but they haven't said specifically when we're going to be hearing more. But essentially, they do say to follow the Play Fair Games Twitter. So essentially, they're going to be revealing some more stuff on Twitter at some point. Um, but yeah, they never really said a release date, so I would imagine this is going to be coming out in 2024, considering they never really committed to a release date or anything. So, but either way, it's going to be a competitive heist game. It is going to be multiplayer. So I would imagine this is going to be one of the live services that Sony are working on for, and the fact that it's going to be sort of, it has that sort of Rainbow Six Siege style gameplay, that will sort of style that the trailer seems to show. So I guess we'll see how it all plays out when we learn more about this game soon. Then we have Hell Driven 2, which we know is coming later this year. They didn't say specifically when it's coming out. It's come from Arrowhead Game Studio. So they did promise that in 2023 we will be getting this game. So I would imagine we'll get some sort of an update very soon in terms of when we're going to be able to start playing this. But either way, it is definitely coming this year. So that's that. At least we now know it'll be coming to PS5 and PC. So I would imagine there's probably, and considering it's going to be a cooperative shooter, could there be a possibility of crossplay involved? Yeah, I think there's a possibility we could see some crossplay involved in this title, considering they're releasing on both PS5 and PC. So there may be some crossplay options available for this title. We'll see how it all goes in terms of this cooperative title. But either way, this is a game that I feel like me and Kerry and maybe even Adam might check out, because this game does look really cool, and I really want to learn more about, see more of this. Then, of course, we've got Alan Await 2. This is coming out on the 17th of October, which, by the way, this game will also be present at the Game Awards next week. They're promising to give us a gameplay demo of this title. So be sure to tune in next Thursday if you want to see a full gameplay demo of this title. So they will finally give us a proper glimpse of what to expect when the game's in action. So yeah, make sure to tune into the Summer Game Fest next Thursday if you want to see a full gameplay demo of Alan Awake 2. And then we've got Assassin's Creed. Yes, the new Assassin's Creed, Mind Rage, going to be coming out on the 12th of October. Pre-orders have already gone out. There's already a launch edition up for grabs on Amazon right now if you want to pre-order that. And I believe it comes with some cool accessories that they're releasing as part of that package. But yes, these are and obviously it's set in Baghdad. This is the location of the new Assassin's Creed, bringing it back to its roots. Of course, as you can see, it has that classic style Assassin's Creed that we all know, the whole stealth and sneak attack elements that Assassin's Creed have been missing for a few runs. But nevertheless, it's great to see the iconic features and gameplay elements that have defined Assassin's Creed for over 15 years. They're making a return. So that's really cool that we're going to be able to do that in a new environment. Baghdad being the location for the new Assassin's Creed that comes out on the 12th of October 2023. Cannot wait to, certainly can't wait to play the new Assassin's Creed because I'm definitely going to be playing this one for sure. Then we have one of the well, obviously a Capcom reveal, Dragon's Dormant 2, which is going to be an upcoming action RPG coming. They haven't said when it's going to be coming, of course, so this is probably going to come out next year. But yes, this is a sequel to the to that franchise that will be finally releasing on the PS5, and I would imagine it will be releasing on Xbox and PC as well. And as you can see, this is a few shots taken from the game itself to give you a taste of what to expect when the game runs on the PS5. And it just, yeah, it's obviously Capcom have been on the roll lately. They've been getting so many good reviews on some of their titles, such as Street Fighter 6, which, by the way, that game's been getting a lot of good reviews recently, and it's coming out this week. So already Capcom is literally on a roll, and I wouldn't be surprised if either Sony or Microsoft tried to acquire them, considering how good they are as developers right now. But nevertheless, that's going to be coming in the near future. But either way, they finally released the first trailer for that franchise in terms of the sequel for the franchise. And then, of course, a game that will be coming out in the coming weeks, Final Fantasy 16. This is another, well, this is a Square Enix title releasing on Thursday, the 22nd of June. And this is the new mainline title of that franchise. They gave us the launch trailer for it. They've already shown a lot of gameplay over the last few months. So obviously, this was the final, hopefully, the final time we'll see the final trailer. We're going to see a Final Fantasy 16 as they get ready for the game's release on the 22nd of next month, which I'm sure there's going to be a lot of excitement when this game comes out because a lot of people have been looking forward to the new Final Fantasy, and I'm certainly one of those. And then we have Foremost Star. This was one of the weird titles that were announced at the PlayStation Showcase because of but basically because of the atmosphere of the game. Really, it's set in Vegas, but you have this sort of weird bubbles thing going on, and it's very, very bizarre concept. But nevertheless, it's yeah, and they do say it's development footage and it's subject to change. So I would imagine most of this might change, but it's just yeah, it's a very, very bizarre title from Square Enix that just had its first reveal. It's basically a party shooter that's coming to both PS4 and PS5. So we'll see what happens when we learn more. It's going to be 4v4, by the way, title, as Square Enix have just confirmed. And then they revealed some more characters for the Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, which is essentially this anime title that is going to be you'll be able to play the full game in winter this year for PS4 and PS5. So yes, that was revealed here. Also, we had a new trailer for the Immortals game that's coming out in July, because obviously it comes out on July 20th, which is pretty cool that they gave us July 20th is the day, and it's obviously published by EA Originals, and also it's created by Ascended Studios, which actually has a creative director of Dead Space and Call of Duty. So it's actually got a formal a guy who worked on Call of Duty has working on this title as well, which is pretty nice. So this is like a new independent AAA team led by the guy behind who has worked on Call of Duty in the past. So pretty cool. Um, the game looks amazing, obviously, and I'm certainly looking forward to hopefully checking this out in July. And then we have Town of Fantasy, which is another game that's coming this summer, an open world RPG, cyberpunk style, getting a release in the summer. Obviously, another anime style title that will be coming to the PS5 for those, PS4 and PS5 this summer. And then there's also some VR titles, including a new Queen's Pack for Beat Saber. But yeah, if you want to see or read about them, there'll be a link to this article if you want to see it. And then we had a first look at Ghost Rider 2 that's coming this year. They didn't say when, but it's due out in 2023. So I would imagine we'll hear more about this game later this summer. Probably I wouldn't be surprised if we hear more about this potentially at the at Gamescom or maybe Summer Game Fest. We'll hear more about this. Who knows? Um, and then we have this, and then we had this other title. This is one of the other indie titles. There are a couple of indie titles here, such as the P Lux Squad, which is a storybook world title that got revealed by an indie developer. We have the Sword of the Sea, that was a game from Giant Squad. Teardown, which by the way, to show you a little bit of Teardown, this is essentially feels like a Minecraft GTA style title from Saber Interactive and Tech School Labs. Yeah, it's a very bizarre title, but nevertheless, it has that sort of Minecraft GTA style, if that makes any sense. From as you can see from the gameplay, it has that sort of GTA slash Minecraft style title, which a lot of people have described Teardown as. And then we have Cat Quest that's coming next year. Neva, that's another sort of indie title. Relevant Hill is another one. We have the Tales of Asker, which is coming next year. So these are just some of the indie titles that were revealed at the PlayStation Showcase last week to give you a taste of how the what the indies titles were like on the PlayStation Showcase last week. So yeah, I'll leave a link in the description if you want to read what the developers had to say about each of the games that they're working on. They spoke to many developers during the blog post, so and you can also rewatch the showcase through my reaction video, or there'll be a link to the showcase if you want to watch it in full, or even their YouTube playlist where they've got all the trailers. But as well as that, Bench Studios are celebrating their 30th anniversary, and they've got some merchandise out on the PlayStation Gears today, because of course today they're celebrating 30 years at the studio. Obviously, the guys behind Days Gone, and they're obviously chat with the studios about it. As you can see, they've got some T-shirts, and they've also brought out some of their classic titles on the PlayStation Plus. So we've got Splinterfield to 2, Splinterfield to 3, Splinterfield to Dark Mirror, and Lagan Shadows are now a part of the PlayStation Plus Premium collection. These are classic titles that finally you can play through PlayStation Plus Premium if you want to check those games out, which are games that they did in the past. And it's yeah, it's pretty nice that they celebrated their 30 years, and we'll hopefully be finding out more about what they're working on, hopefully later in the year when they share more details. Hopefully, should Sony get the opportunity to let them reveal their title. Speaking of Sony, however, on Friday, they're going to be starting the Days of Play. Now, obviously, if you're familiar, if you're a PlayStation player, very familiar with this, Sony always does the Days of Play in June, and they're starting it on Friday. And of course, what can you expect? Well, you can expect the following things. You can expect savings on the PlayStation Plus memberships. So essentially, there will be the 12-month plans for PlayStation Plus are going to be 25% off. So this includes Essential, Extra, and Premium, and Deluxe, depending on obviously Extra and Premium. Also, for those who are current Essential and Extra members, will get 25% off their first, third, or 12-month memberships should they upgrade to the higher plan tier, which is a great time to upgrade if you want to play some of the PlayStation 1, 2, etc. titles on Premium. There's also going to be some deals on PlayStation Direct, which will include PS5, PS4, PC games, accessories are all going to be on sale. There's also going to be some discounts that you'll be at. Well, so there'll be some promotion codes for Asia, Italy, Spain, and Portugal, who have now got their PlayStation Direct pages up and running, so you can use those discounts now. Well, use those discounts for the sale that kicks off on Friday. And then PlayStation Gears have got some discounts as well, where you'll be able to get some 20% off all selected merchandise. And then, as well as that, the PlayStation Store is going to have a Days of Play sale where they're going to be promising. Well, they're promising to give us a list of all the discounts later. I would imagine on Friday they'll give us a list of all the discounts that are going to be available on the PlayStation Store. And then on top of that, there's going to be some days of play discounts in your local retailer. So obviously, Game in the UK will be offering a days of play discount for PlayStation accessories and titles, which would be great. And there's actually a website, Days of Play website, as you can see, where they're getting where they well, it's basically a 10-day discount, so they'll be updating this on Friday, so you'll be able to see all the discounts on this page. Should you be curious of how much discounts they're putting out on all the different areas and all your basically on the PlayStation Store, I'm sure there'll be plenty of games on there worth getting. So that's going to be happening on Friday for those who want to take advantage of the Days of Play sale for 2023. And it'll be running until the 12th of June this year. So that'll be obviously until the following Monday. And then another announcement that came from Sony is Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. This is a game that I suspected was going to come to PC, and lo and behold, it is. It's coming out on the 26th of July on PC. You can start pre-purchasing right now. This is a game that obviously and that has been worked on by Insomniac Games, along with and obviously Netwitch Softwares are helping them into porting this onto PC. For those who want to check out the PC version of Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and obviously this is a couple of shots of the game running on the PC. Um, and yeah, so and of course there's going to be obviously you'll be able to get these accessories for pre-purchasing on the PC version of Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. A very very good game, by the way. Definitely worth checking out if you're on PC, if you want to check out this game. This game was actually a lot of fun on PS5, so I'm sure hopefully it's going to be a lot of fun for PC players who want to check out Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart as it finally makes its way to PC finally its after being a part of the PS5 ecosystem for a little bit. So that is what's happening with Sony in terms of stuff that they've got planned in stuff they're working on, and also they've done articles about Battlefield 2042 that are going to be launching their next season, which is called New Dawn. That's coming out next Thursday. Well, in fact, next Wednesday, the day before Summer Game Fest. They're going to be releasing this season, and you'll be able to check. You can obviously see a glimpse at the new maps that they've launched, as well as some weapons they're bringing in. Details about their battle pass, quality of life updates, the squad management system that is getting a major update in this next season. Either way, Battlefield, it's a new update coming out next week where you can read more about it. And of course, they've announced the release date for Alone in the Dark. It's going to be coming out on the 25th of October. They've got a pre-log that you can play on console and on console right now and PC if you want to play the prologue that they've just released to get you ready for the to get essentially to give you a taste of the game in preparation for the release on the 25th of October, which has got a Hollywood stars. Well, it's basically got the voices of some big names are voicing the character. Well, David Harbour and Jodie Comer are basically the celebrity voices for the Alone in the Dark. Pretty cool. So that's what's happening with PlayStation, and then we come to some other stuff that's basically come out, and the fact is that there's going to be a unique and shared skill tree between Peter Parker and Miles Morales during Spider-Man 2 that's been discussed, which you can read more in there. And also, apparently, originally Final Fantasy 16 was supposed to also get a release on the PS4, but obviously Square Enix did the right thing because last gen version would have taken too long. So they actually kind of did the right thing and pulled it out due to the fact that, well, it would take 1 or 2 years worth of development to ensure its quality was high enough. So I'm glad that they just stuck with the PS5 because it just makes sense. Also, Dragon's Dormant 2 will not have co-op multiplayer. Capcom have just announced recently this is not going to have. It's going to be a one-player title not a co-op title that some people were suspecting it was going to be. And then this was also coming out as well that a lot of a lot of insiders are getting information that PlayStation and Nintendo are going to be having some more digital showcases this year, which means that Sony might be getting a showcase potentially in September, just like they did in 2020, where they're going to be revealing more titles on the PlayStation side. Well, basically be revealing more third parties and maybe first, but hopefully more first parties will get their announcements later this year. So I guess we'll have to wait in the coming months and see how Sony will organize their next digital showcase, because it looks like they've got more in the pipeline, um, as sources are now indicating. And then, of course, Star Wars: the Night of the Old Republic. Obviously, the guys in charge of that game are obviously reassuring that the game is still in development. Obviously it has got some massive delays, but it is still in development, which is nice to know that at least the game is still being worked on despite the concerns of the game's future, of course. Also, Layer the Fear has got their trophy list released as well, so we got a little taste. There's been a little taste about the trophy list about Laser Fear, which is coming out on the 15th of June. This is one of the horror games that are going to be coming out this summer that was revealed last summer. So it's nice to see that we're only weeks away from the official release. Also, there's now talks that Tianka 8 could be getting a beta very soon, because Steam have got listings of a playtest for Tianka 8 that's been sort of hinted at. So there is now talks that Tianka 8 could be getting some sort of a beta that could be coming very, very soon, or could be getting some sort of a beta announcement from Capcom or Bandcamp, and which may suggest that the game might be pushed to a 2024 full release window, so they are able to roll out a beta or a playtest for this title. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. Maybe there's a possibility that at next week's Summer Game Fest we get an announcement about Tianka 8 getting a beta potentially. Who knows? I mean, it should be very interesting should a beta come out of this within the next week or so. So maybe Summer Game Fest could be the time and place where Tianka 8 may finally reveal a playtest slash beta could be happening for that title. And then speaking of a Silent Hill title, we did get a trailer for Silent Hill Ascendant, which is going to be streams online later this year, influenced by fans. So that's pretty interesting. So Silent Hill Ascendant, it's basically to describe it, it's a sort of like an interactive TV series that you'll be able to watch the show online and be able to help decide the fate of many characters, which is very, very cool that they're doing this. And there is obviously a little, it's a little unclear whether you're going to be able to follow the show on PS4 or PS5 yet, but I'm sure we'll get more clarity soon, I suppose. But there's also meant to be reveals for Silent Hill Towerfall and Silent Hill 2 that are meant to be happening soon. So I guess we'll have to wait and see how soon we'll learn more about the other Silent Hill titles. Now, in terms of Marathon, in terms of further details that we can get about the Marathon game, well, it's basically graphic realism is sort of what's being discussed. And in terms of the thread of tweets from many sources, they're saying like we are looking back at games from previous generations for inspiration just as much as we're looking forward. And then they mentioned that moving that tons of influence are outside of games. So they had so it seems as though Bungie may have had some influences from other games in the creation of Marathon potentially, which would be very interesting. So I guess I'm hoping, obviously we're not going to learn more for a while, but it's interesting to get sort of a mindset of what they've been sort of teasing here. We also had a little bit of an update about the upcoming Witcher game, that it's ramping up as Cyberpunk's expansion is near release. So yes, they're obviously pushing the development, obviously working on the development for the new Witcher game. which could be, well, obviously it's still a few years out, obviously. So obviously we're probably not going to be hearing about it for a while, but still, it's nice to see that the CD Project Red are putting more resources on in preparation for the to make sure that this game meets the expectation. We also had another showcase announced, Gorillas Collective. Now, this is now, in case you're curious what Gorillas Collective is, essentially it's an indies game showcase, and Sony are going to be sponsoring them when they do their showcase in June. And in case you're curious when in June it's going to be happening, well, it's going to be happening on the 8th of June. Yeah, so essentially it's going to be happening during the, on the 8th of June, which is basically going to be, I believe this is going to be rolling out after the Summer Game Fest. Oh no, actually, it's going live on the 7th of June. Sorry, Gorillas Collective is going to be on the 7th of June, where they're going to be spotlighting some indie titles with PlayStation among the event's key supporters. So there is the possibility that obviously some of the indie titles that get announced could also be making their way to PS4 and PS5, potentially to be revealed at this event. So this is another showcase that will be coming next week for indie titles. For those who want to see more indie games, this might be a show to look out for on the 7th of June. And then, of course, Sony are also, in terms of their financial, that well, in terms of their success with the PS5, they're sort of expecting to sell over 108 million PS5s in this generation. So we'll see if they pull up the numbers. I mean, so far they've sold an additional 70 million PS5s. Well, they're considering to sell around that over the coming months. So we'll see if they pull it off as the months go by. THQ have also tried to convince Redeem to release Alan Awake 2 physically, because there has been talks that it's going to be released digitally, but um, yeah, THQ basically said this. I mean, we did the disc version of Alan Wake for PC back in the day. Just because one person or company does not love physicals, there's plenty who still do. Give it some thought. We'll love to go at it again, full circle and all. So it seems as though THQ are offering Redeem the opportunity, to be able to help them in terms of releasing a physical copy of Alan Wake 2, which I think that would be pretty nice if they did that. So hopefully they'll they'll consider some thought, and we'll hopefully get some physical copies of Alan Wake 2. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Um, anyway, Summer Game Fest. What can we expect from Jeff Keighley's event next week? You're probably wondering. Well, obviously, like I said, we already know it's going to be next Thursday. It's going to be rolling out. Obviously, it'll be starting at 8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. There is also going to be a Day of the Devs, which is an indie showcase that he also does during that week. So that's going to follow Summer Game Fest. So not only will he be doing this, but he's also going to be doing the Day of the Devs. That'll be going out from 10 a.m. UK time, 5 p.m. Eastern, and 2 p.m. Pacific. So basically, Summer Game Fest is going to essentially be 2 hours long. That's what we know from this. And because of this, this is basically what we know so far to what to expect. So he essentially did a whole sort of Q&A about to Epic Games about what to expect from the show, because he did a whole interview with Epic Games about the event this year. And this is what he said. So, yeah, I might as well take you to the Epic Games site, because this is their whole article talking to him about it. So this is what Keighley said essentially. So he says, yeah. So obviously, the big news for this show is still the mystery, even to Keighley, which is interesting. So anyway, he goes on to say, as I said with all these shows, one or two games make kind of make the entire difference. As a producer, it's challenging because sometimes you have those games, sometimes you don't, sometimes you think you have them, and then you drop it, they drop it out or change. So yeah, he's sort of saying that there's a possibility that things can change within a week, but I'm hoping things are going to run smoothly as we head towards the summer game, the whole summer game fest. But he does, however, say in terms of estimates for the show, he says that they are currently there were currently 3 or 4 things that are going to be pretty big for this audience. So 3 or 4 major announcements are currently expected to be at Summer Game Fest next week. So it sounds like there's some big things going on. And then he goes on to say, where else the Summer Game Fest is a very much straight trailer, announcement. I think Summer Game Fest has a chance to talk about the developers and showcase games that gives a little bit more of a context around the games. We're not giving away awards in the show, but it really is like a kind of showcase for games, which obviously that's the whole point of Summer Game Fest. And then he says, we certainly felt that the Game Awards last year is where fans were urged in cheers when we revealed Hader and other games. In the world of so many video events and our live shows and fan audience is a key difference to Summer Game Fest. So it adds so much energy to the room to have fans' reaction to the announcement, allowing us to really bring the announcements into the room. So that's, yeah, it's very interesting. He says that. Very, very, very interesting. But so the thing we can take away from this is essentially there's going to be essentially 3 or 4 major announcements that are due to take place at Summer Game Fest next week. Which will be very interesting to see what those announcements are going to be. Now, a lot of people are obviously expecting Konami behind Dead, obviously Dead Stranding 2 to be there because of the fact that obviously Konami is a major friend of Jeff Keighley, so of course we can expect Death Stranding 2 to be a part of it. In terms of other games we could potentially see here, I mean, in terms of other major announcements that would fit into this bill, I would say there's the possibility we could get an announcement regarding. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if there's an Xbox title in here, but it's also sort of, yeah, here's the thing, right? There's a part of me that thinks it's going to be an Xbox title, but then again, Microsoft could save that for next Sunday, knowing that they've got a showcase next Sunday, so there's a chance they might save it then. But in terms of Sony games that could show up here, I think Death Stranding 2 is one of them. Last of Us multiplayer, I mean, I was going to be hopeful for it, but then because it's been delayed, it might not show up now. So maybe Ghost of Tsushima 2 could be its replacement. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe GTA 6. Now, that would be really funny if Rockstar happens to show up and reveal GTA 6, but the problem is Rockstar's not listed as one of the developers, so it would look a bit odd for them to be there, even though they did announce they were going to be there. So really, it's going to be one of those studios, isn't it? So, I mean, it could be, for instance, it could be a major surprise that maybe they might announce that heavily, a lot of people are suspecting that Bend Studios are working on Days Gone 2. So could we be getting an announcement of that here? I don't know. I mean, it seems big enough to potentially show up. I don't know. It's very hard, isn't it? It's very hard to decide what they could potentially do here because I mean, obviously, Death Stranding 2 is going to be one of those games, and then obviously, Ghost of Tsushima 2 could be a major one for not only Sony but for Summer Game Fest because obviously this would be another first party finally out of the window for Sony. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we could get something. I mean, it won't be Destiny 2 because we know Destiny 2 is going to have their own showcase in the coming year in August. So I would suspect it would probably be Call of Duty. I think Call of Duty could show up. So we could see Activision potentially surprise us by revealing the new Call of Duty here instead of August if they wanted to. So yeah, there's plenty of opportunities here. So I guess we'll have to see how it all plays out between now and Thursday and see what games surprisingly make it. I mean, obviously CD Projekt Red have already confirmed they're going to be at Summer Game Fest, so we know that Cyberpunk, the Phantom Liberty, which is the DLC, is going to get revealed here. So obviously we can suspect that that's going to be a part of the showcase, regardless if it's a. I mean, okay, I guess it will be counted as a big important announcement, but I feel like there's other games that are bigger than Cyberpunk right now that I feel like are going to get more attention. So we'll see. fingers crossed. Hopefully, we're going to get some good reveals happen at Summer Game Fest, and we'll find out what those will be next week. And by the way, in case you don't know, there is a website for Summer Game Fest, and as you can see, they've updated the website with um with all the showcases that are coming up. So we've got Summer Game Fest, Days of the Dev. We have Divine Digital that have also announced a showcase next Thursday. That'll be at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. We have the Tabical. Oh yeah, this is an event that's also happening. Tabical Game Spotlight. I think this is an indie studio because I remember seeing bits of this showcase last year. So this is an indie dev who are going to be doing a showcase on the Friday, which is on the 9th. And then there's also the Wholesome Direct. That's another indie showcase happening on the Saturday. Obviously, Xbox Game Pass. No, then the Xbox Game Showcase is Starfield Direct on the Sunday, and then Ubisoft on the Monday, the 12th. So yeah, lots lots of things happening for some. But I actually kind of do like this website layout as well. Very cool. So if you want to check out the website, there'll be a link in the description. By the way, this is going to be they're going to have an audience for the very first time, and they're having the Summer Game Fest Play Days happening in LA. So if you and I think you can still get tickets, I believe, possibly. I think you can still get tickets. They may have been sold out, but I'm hoping they're still available for anybody who wants to get tickets to be in attendance to see the reveals at Summer Game Fest next week. Hopefully, there's some tickets still there. Also, we also found obviously there is going to be an opportunity for players to check out Mortal Kombat 1 because Mortal Kombat are going to be doing they're essentially doing an online stress test that you can register for with your Warner Brothers account. I've already registered for it to be on Xbox Series X. But you can register for it for PlayStation, and it's apparently might be apparently they're hoping to do they want a flawless launch in September, but they haven't said when the online stress test is going to be. But they're going to be revealing more soon, essentially. But we already know there is going to be a beta happening with pre-orders, so there is going to be an online stress test coming before the beta, so you can sign up with your Warner Brothers account and let them know which console you want to play it on PS5 or Series X and S, and then hopefully they'll let us know through emails when you will be able to stress test take part in the online stress test of Mortal Kombat 1 for those who are for those of you who want to check it out. And of course, they do say if you're taking part, if you're going to be playing on PS5, you won't need to worry about your PlayStation Plus, which is good. But unfortunately, these tests will not offer crossplay support, which will be unfortunate. But luckily, I would imagine the beta will offer crossplay. I'm hoping, but we'll hopefully find that out soon when they reveal details about what to expect from the beta of Mortal Kombat 1. And then, as well as that, Diablo 4 devs have also promised that the service will survive the launch stage saga. Well, at least they hope they will. Um, And then also there's also a little bit of an update about Street Fighter 6 here, where it will show whether your opponents on PS on the is wired or wireless, which is interesting. So that's pretty cool. It'll show you whether they're wired or wireless. That's so basically it'll show you if they're using wired connection or Wi-Fi online connection, which is pretty nice that they're going to offer that information. And then apparently Sony are apparently under fire due to the abuse its dominance into the industry, because there's the RCC have released a press release talking about the body issues, saying that the practices have been reduced to the purchasing options for PlayStation compatible video games has led to higher prices of video games in this type of console. After another effect of these practices of encouraging the Romanian studios from developing video games compatible with PlayStation. Yeah, there's a lot of debate going on over this already, and yeah, be interested to see what will happen with this as as the days go on. But yeah, it's a very interesting story developing already this morning regarding Sony coming under fire in Romania, um, regarding those practices that are going on. But nevertheless, I am very looking forward to Summer Game Fest. Cannot wait to see what will get revealed next week, as well as Xbox Game Showcase and Starfield Direct. Looking forward to seeing what they're going to reveal on that front. Also, Sony having their Days of Play sale, which I'm sure they're going to have a lot of good things on offer this coming week. So it should be a blast. But anyway, thanks for watching, and then we'll catch you guys in the next one when we hopefully we'll get some more updates about Summer Game Fest and what they're planning next Thursday, or whether we'll hear any updates regarding Sony's plans for the second showcase, or maybe we'll hear some plans about Nintendo Direct, because Nintendo haven't really announced anything for June, so hopefully they'll announce something for any Nintendo fans who want to see what is coming up on the Switch. So hopefully we'll hear some news from Nintendo very, very soon. So see you then.